Microsoft CEO just admitted something shocking. In a recent podcast, Satya Nadella said the biggest issue we are now having is not a compute glut, but it's power. Not software, not competition, not regulation, power. Right now, in cutting-edge Microsoft data centers, racks filled with the most advanced AI chips ever created are doing nothing, turned off, idle, because they literally don't have enough electricity to run them. And Microsoft isn't alone. OpenAI, Sam Altman, called the power shortage existential to their entire business model. Big tech is spending over $400 billion building AI infrastructure across America. But they're running into a problem that no amount of money can instantly fix: the laws of physics. And while they scramble for solutions, some legal, some not, some that literally involve leaving the planet, you are paying for it. Your electricity bills are spiking, your water is getting contaminated, your community is becoming a battleground. This is the story of what happens when the AI dream meets reality. So here is the actual scale of the problem. Big tech is spending over $400 billion, including AI infrastructure, right now. And this is real money, real data centers, real equipment. By 2028, these facilities will need 44 gigawatts of additional power. That's like if you build 44 nuclear power plants. How much new power will actually be available by then? Well, only 25 gigawatts. So the gap is 19 gigawatts. Almost half of what they need doesn't exist. And it gets worse, because connecting to the power grid in Virginia, which they call Data Center Alley, it takes over 8 years just to get connected. Gas turbines that used to take 2 years to get now take 4.5 years to get. They need 5,000 miles of new transmission lines built every year. But in 2024, America built only 900 miles. Meanwhile, China added 429 gigawatts to its grid last year. This is a whopping 21% year-on-year growth. That's more than 1/3 of America's entire electrical grid in a single year. Can you imagine? And the most impressive is that 83% of this is wind and solar power. In other words, green power. At the same time, in America, they're looking at coal in 21st century. So what happens when you're a tech billionaire? You've already spent the money, you've promised investor infinite growth, and you discover there is no power available. Well, you get creative. Option 1, break the law. Elon Musk's company's xAI built the world's largest AI training cluster in Memphis. In 4 months, they built it in 4 months. They run dozens of gas turbines without environmental permits. It's now Tennessee's largest source of nitrogen oxide pollution. People in the neighborhood have elevated asthma rates and lower life expectancy. So they finally got a permit for 15 turbines in July. But then observers counted 35 on site. Option 2, restart a nuclear disaster site. Microsoft cut a deal to restart 3 Mile Island. Yes, that 3 Mile Island, the site of America's worst nuclear accident in 1979. Coming back online in 2027 just for AI. And option 3, leave Earth entirely. Can you imagine? But that's real. On November 2nd, 2025, a company called StarCloud launched AI into space. They trained the first AI model ever in orbit because, and I'm quoting the CEO here, they are facing constraints on energy terrestrially. Translation, Earth has run out of juice. They're planning a facility with 5 gigawatts of solar panel floating in orbit. Google has a project called Suncatcher. There is a company planning a data center on the moon. Think about it. We've reached the point where leaving the planet is more realistic than fixing our electrical grid. Now, that is the part that actually affects your life. Your electricity bills are up 12 to 13% already. And over the next 5 years, it could go up to another 15, 30, 40%. 80 million Americans have problems paying their electricity bills right now. And almost half of Americans say the cost of living is the worst they can remember. Beverly Morris lives 400 yards from a Meta data center in Georgia. During construction, her well got contaminated, and she now hauls buckets of water to flush her toilet. She is afraid to drink her tap water. Meta did a study, but the study said that, no adverse effects. She doesn't believe them. She sees the water, and she said, this was my perfect spot for living, but now this isn't anymore. In Tucson, which is in drought condition, 1,000 people stormed a city council meeting when they discovered a secret Amazon data center was being built. The city literally can't meet its own water demands. In the same time, 230 environmental groups have demanded a moratorium on new data centers. Over 64 billion in projects have been blocked by local communities. Elections in Virginia, New Jersey, and Georgia have been flipped over because of this issue. And here's the kicker. Norway's Sovereign Wealth Fund, NORWAY'S fund, the world's largest fund, worth $2.1 trillion. They just announced their new investment strategy. And guess what? Data centers were notably absent from the strategy. So the smartest money on the planet looked at this situation and said, no, thanks. So here is where we are. Big tech promised us an infinite digital future. And look, AI is genuinely transformative. It's helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier. Scientists are using it to accelerate climate research and many other researches. It's making work easier for millions of people. The potential is real, but so is the cost. They spent $400 billion building this future. Then they discovered that infinite future requires something very much finite: electricity, water, land. The most advanced AI chips ever created are sitting in American data centers right now, doing nothing, because they ran out of power. So what did they do? They didn't pause to solve the infrastructure problem. They ran turbines without permits in Memphis. Residents now have breathing problems. They are restarting a nuclear disaster site. They launched AI into orbit. And while they raced ahead, your electricity bills went up 13%, with projections of another 15, probably 30, 40 in the future. 80 million Americans are struggling to pay for power. Indigenous communities lost electricity access, so data centers could have more. By 2030, this could add 44 million tons of CO2 to the atmosphere, which is equivalent of putting 10 million extra cars on the road. So Microsoft CEO wasn't exaggerating. The biggest problem in AI isn't the technology, is that we're building it faster than we can power it responsibly. So here is the question we should all be asking. Not whether AI will change everything, but whether we can build that future without sacrificing the people and the planet we're supposedly building it for.